So let's start with the biblical evidence that we have of Jesus's historical existence. And in within the New Testament, let's focus in on Paul. So Paul was he's actually one of my favorite biblical people because of his complete devotion to God in whichever way he understood God to be, right? So he was a highly educated, very respected man. He was on his way up. He was part of a wealthy family. He was in kind of in the inner group, if you will. He was starting to become very well respected, and he was well on his way in advancement to become a member of the Sanhedrin, who was the ruling group of 70 men of the Jewish people. And so he was a very strong advocate against the Christian movement because it was seen as an enemy of Jewishness. And so he was starting to persecute Christians, and he kind of took it upon himself, I'm sure with others, but he was kind of leading some of the revolt against the Christian church and was a huge persecutor up until the point of death. Like he was murdering some of the Christian followers. And it wasn't until he was approached by Jesus on the road to Damascus where Jesus was like, "What are you doing? Stop persecuting my people." And Paul understood his error. And from that moment on, he became blind, the whole story, which in and of itself, I think is just so amazing. But he realized from that moment on, like he's had it wrong. And he basically converted immediately to become a follower of Jesus and one of the most profound apologists that we have. So he says in 1 Corinthians 15:9 through 10, he says, "For I am the least of the apostles, unworthy to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God. But by the grace of God, I am what I am, and his grace toward me was not in vain." And so he definitely believed that Jesus resurrected, and again, his conversion also lends credence to the fact that Jesus bodily resurrected and he appeared to Paul. But we'll talk about that in another episode.